At this point, guys are locked in and they're focused on the new game plan. They're focused on the fact that we're going to have to attack. And, this is a game that we're expecting to be a brawl. It's an extremely talented team, an extremely physical team, and we might be dealing with some weather. So, there's no time to sulk, no time to think about those things. We got to prepare for a good opponent.
Yeah, I heard the words 3 feet of snow earlier on, and I don't know how you even prepare for that when you're out in California, but is that something that getting in some football weather excites you, or how do you guys feel about approaching a game like that?
Oh, I think it just feeds into really the feel of this game in general. We were expecting a kind of a bar brawl and expecting a game that's kind of grimy, and then when you add the weather to that, it just adds to that aesthetic. So I don't think it's something that you necessarily can practice for. It's more of know that this is what you're heading into and get your mind right.
How much for you guys? Are you able to take some positives from the fact that you look at that division, you see how tight it is, you look at the talent you guys have got to have coming back from injury, and that there's still divisional games ahead of you, that there are reasons to be cheerful amongst the kind of naysayers out there, that there is still a playoff place to be had?
Yeah, I think that guys that have been around and the dudes who are in this locker room understand that. They understand how at this point, if we take care of business and things go our way, that we're right back in it. I think it's just trying to convey that to younger guys and people who haven't been in this situation before, who haven't dropped games early in the season and had to claw their way back out. I know there's a lot of guys in this locker room who have done that before. I've been on teams that have done that before, so I understand that all's not lost and things aren't over. It's not a time to panic. It's a time to get things right and to win some games.
It was interesting listening to Kyle Shanahan talk on the podium about what he's got to do better and talk about how the unity of the team. But from you as a guy kind of going from last year to this year, what have you seen from him that shows that he still has that ability to lift this team up and that he is still the guy that is going to drive you forwards?
I think that Kyle has been one of the biggest champions of guys in this locker room in terms of believing guys, giving guys opportunities, and supporting them. Even when guys have rough games and things like that, I think that speaks volumes. And when he comes in here and shows you the game plan and begins talking to guys and really trying to lift those spirits and iterate to people who might not realize that we still have the things that we want for us in front of us. I think that really can set a tone, because it all starts from the top. And so when you see the way that he's working, the way that he's putting in that game plan and the fire in his eyes, it really can drive people to do that the same. And, as teammates, we got to feed off each other in that same way.
How exciting is it to see Brock back in limited practice today and some hope that he will be ready for Sunday?
Oh, it's great. Love having Brock out there, the leadership that he brings, the competitive nature that he has. And it's just good to have a guy like that around, a guy that a lot of people look up to and believe in. And so we're excited to have him out there. I'm not really sure the status of what's going on with him right now, so I can't say whether or not what's going to happen. But it's always good to have Brock in the huddle.
And still some confidence, though, that if he's not there, that Brandon can get things done, that this offense can still operate at a decent level on the road?
Of course. I think that everybody on this team believes that. They believe in the next man up mentality. Each of us have gotten an opportunity because of something like that happening, myself included. So, I've seen the way that Brandon prepares, the way that he comes here every day, and I believe in him. And I'll go out there and I'll play just as hard, with him at the helm as with Brock.
Finally, will you get to enjoy Thanksgiving a little bit tomorrow?
Yeah, a little bit. We'll come out here and we'll get the film study and the work in. But at the same time, it's good to be able to spend some time with family. This football season gets long and it can drag on. We play some games on the road and stuff, so we won't really be around family too often in the near future. So it's going to be nice to have that little bit of a break.
It does feel like that tradition has been the 49ers when they've gone on these East Coast road swings to stay out there in recent years and kind of asking around the facility. It does sound like Thanksgiving being between these two games, the Packers and the Bills games, was a huge reason. They were like, no, we want to get back to California so guys can be with their families and stuff. And that feels like a good thing.
Yeah, I think that at this point, taking care of the body and physically recovering is important, but mental recovery is just as important. We're having a tough stretch of games here, and really when we travel east, it sort of becomes a short week for us because we kind of lose a day. So, it's weighing on people, and it's nice that the organization has scheduled it in a way that we can get our work in and also see family.
Love that. Look, Chris, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for speaking with us. Best of luck for Sunday and hopefully a more positive conversation in future weeks.
Thank you.
So delighted to say joining the channel now ahead of this massive Sunday night football clash live on talkSPORT this weekend as the 49ers take on the Bills. It's defensive lineman of the San Francisco 49ers, Kalia Davis. Kalia, like, tough week off the back of that loss to the Packers. What's the vibe like in the building going into this weekend?
I mean, the vibe is just, we lost the game, and we got a tough game ahead of us. I think right after we lost to the Packers, the focus just shifted to the Bills, and we gotta improve, watch the film from the Packers game, but obviously move on because we got a really good team in the Bills, and we gotta go out there and get a win. So we just got better from the film, and our focus is on the Bills now.
Kyle talked a lot about in his press conference how, yes, there's disappointment in the building, but your unit is very tight. Has there been a lot of guys lifting each other up this week of trying to make sure that everyone stays positive and does look forward?
Of course, there's a lot of positivity in the locker room because of the guys that's in the locker room. The caliber of players in there. We know what we can do, and we know that we can beat any team in the NFL. We just got to go out there and do it. So, it's a lot of confidence in this locker room still.
Felt like fundamentals were a problem on Sunday. There was a lot talked about the missed tackles in the first half, for example. How are you guys? Have you guys been taking a bit of a back to basics focus this week? Have you guys been trying to make sure those fundamentals are on lock, that your guys aren't beating yourselves?
I mean, most definitely, tackling is a tackle sport, so we just got to tackle better. That's one thing we're gonna work on. Like I said, we watched the film, and we know what we need to clean up, and that's gonna be our focus this week.
One positive thing that has happened this week is that Dre Greenlaw back in the building, activated from his window, back in practice today. How big is it to have him back around that locker room, and not just around the locker room, but putting on some pads, hopefully, and starting to take some reps?
Man, it's huge, man. Someone that has dealt with injury before, I know what the process is like, and it's long and it's lonely. So for him to have gone through that process and rehab to a point to where he can go back out there and be on the field with us is huge, man. And, I feel like that's going to be a big thing for us, just having a guy like that, back out there on the field. And man, I'm really happy for him, man. I actually need to see him today. That's huge, man. I'm happy for him.
It must lift the spirits, right? Like, not only because he's a great player, but a leader, a guy who clearly the locker room love. Like, you'll see it every week. Like, it's just got to be the boost you guys need right now, I think.
Oh, most definitely, man. He's one of my favorite guys in the locker room, man. He's a key part of this team, and man, getting a player back like that, even if it's just out of practice, man, is huge.
And then finally, just Nick not practicing today, missing the fourth quarter of that game. Nick Bosa, how huge is his impact if he can play on Sunday? And what's he saying to you guys about how he's feeling and how he can see you guys doing if he doesn't get out on the field?
You cut out, but no, it's obviously huge if he was able to play this week. One of the top defensive players in the league. So that's just that. I don't know what his status is as far as where he's at with it, but a huge plus if he's out there.